Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another movie review. So, I know we're all sad about what happened to Logan in the last X-Men saga movie that we looked at, that being Logan. So I know we're all sad about Wolverine, but don't worry, turn that frown upside down, because Deadpool is here to save the day. Hey, once again, I'm talking about Deadpool 2, who as always, I'm not a professional movie reviewer or movie analyst or anything like that, or a movie critic or anything of that nature. Just a man who enjoys a good time, which I definitely had with this movie. Now, a bit of backstory. Deadpool, the first Deadpool movie, I went to go see it in theaters. I was excited for the movie. I was really excited to see this movie. Because I love Deadpool, and I definitely wasn't disappointed. The first Deadpool movie was fun. But this one that I saw for review, this was the first time I had seen the movie. I kind of knew some stuff about what it was about because the internet is full of spoilers. But plus, at this point, it's been about 5 years since this movie came out. But yeah, so this one I had not seen it, seen it at all. This was my first time seeing it. I did feel kind of bad though because my parents actually got me this on DVD for Christmas, but I never got around to actually watching the DVD, and it's still somewhere in my house. But this I'm seeing for the first time, and actually didn't watch it on DVD because we need a new DVD player. Which honestly, that's probably a justifiable excuse, right, for not seeing the movie. Thanks again, Mom and Dad. But yeah, so I watched it on Disney Plus, which is still crazy to think that both these movies are on Disney Plus and not censored at all. There was some parts that they snipped out, and it's kind of understandable, but yeah. So I was able to see it for the first time. I'm glad I was able to see it because this movie was all kinds of fun, on a really fun, awesome time. And it's really awesome that back-to-back X-Men movies he's are pretty much like great for totally different reasons, and some similar reasons, but for the most part totally different reasons. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So, starting with what I liked about the movie, if my little opening spiel there was an indicator, pretty much everything, like everything that made the first movie as fun as it was pretty much carried over to this movie. Like all the fun, all the insanity, all the gore, or all the profanity, all just like the constant jokes, the meta humor, fourth wall breaking, all of it is here, like it's in full effect here as well in this movie, and honestly, it's like cranked up even more in terms of this movie. Like this movie cranks the dial up pretty much to the max. There was a lot of like references and fourth wall breaks in the first movie. Here it's cranked up even more, and it's all kinds of fun. Unlike this, definitely is like a fun time of a movie. But just like the first movie, it's also balanced with a lot of like emotional, serious stuff. For starters, Deadpool loses Vanessa, and pretty much for the rest of the movie is essentially trying to find himself. Colossus attempts to recruit him into the X-Men, which, by the way, they like address the lack of X-Men besides Colossus and NTW, aka Negasonic Teenage Warhead. But honestly, I might interchange between the two. But they try to recruit him into the X-Men, and Deadpool, a little bit more of a loose cannon, but Deadpool essentially trying to find himself, feeling depressed, suicidal after Vanessa's death, because Vanessa meant so much to him. They were even gonna start a family. And sadly, the gang that Deadpool was didn't fully kill earlier, because it was he and Vanessa's anniversary, wanted to rush back. Like essentially, he came back and killed his girl, which is unfortunate. Kind of like that Spider-Man Uncle Ben and dynamic, where because Spider-Man didn't essentially let the guy get away, who robbed the fight promoter earlier, on in the comic slash movie because they adapted it to the movie. Obviously, it comes back to haunt him, and it definitely came back to haunt Deadpool here. And he's feeling upset about it, even blows himself up. And they make fun of like Wolverine's death pretty much as soon as the movie starts. Like Deadpool has like the little statue of Wolverine being impaled, and it starts with him blowing himself up, stating that he's gonna die in this movie. Making claims that he's gonna die in the movie, making fun of Wolverine for stealing his shtick, essentially with the whole radar and everything, and having the main character die. And he says he's gonna die in this movie, and proclaims it to be a family movie. And surprisingly, he follows up on both those claims, as we're gonna find out. But so Deadpool, feeling upset, tries to be recruited into the X-Men. Doesn't really work out after he kills one of the guys at the Essex Corporation, or the Essex home, which is kind of their follow-up with it being established in at the end of X-Men Apocalypse, but we don't really see Mr. Sinister, unfortunately. Despite the Essex, we don't see Mr. Sinister, but Deadpool does run into a young mutant named Fire Fist, aka Russell, of course. So they essentially have like a kind of like buddy brother situation, and that carries throughout the movie. Which brings about Cable, which Cable did a fantastic job here. They kind of balance on some like the comedic nature of Deadpool, like the universe, not just Deadpool as a character, but the universe that they've established thus far with Deadpool. When it comes to this character, but they also incorporated his more like dark nature in the comics, and kind of some of like the unfortunate backstory here. And Cable here goes back in time to kill Russell, because Russell will one day kill Cable's family, and so Cable essentially is going back in time to kill Russell. So you kind of see both sides. Like on one hand, yeah, killing a kid is kind of messed up, but on the other hand, he will kill Cable's family. And Cable is played by Josh Brolin here. If that name sounds familiar, that's Thanos. So man, he was able to squeeze out two supervillain, and not necessarily supervillain in terms of Cable, but two kind of antagonist like roles here in the movie, in I should say the superhero movies, which that's some good range when it comes to that. And which do I like more in terms of his performance as Cable or as Thanos? Honestly, I would say it really depends on the circumstances. With Deadpool, it's a lot more humorous. It's like I said, it has like emotion and stuff, but it's a lot more humorous. Whereas Thanos is supposed to be taken a lot more seriously. It's funny that Deadpool has history with both. Of course, Cable and Deadpool teamed up many times in the comics. They were even part of a team that we'll actually see later on in this movie. But essentially, he kind of showing the beginnings of their history with one another and the beginnings of their interaction, and they have some pretty funny chemistry for the most part. Cable playing more of the straight man to Deadpool's antics, which is how it was in the comics as well. So there's that aspect. Both Deadpool and Russell end up in prison, which is where Russell then befriends the Juggernaut after Deadpool breaks out. But Deadpool, feeling bad that Russell's still in prison, and enlists the help of the X-Force. Yes, this movie has the X-Force to kind of, in a way, comedically counter the X-Men, but the X-Force, of course, a real entity in the comics. So, this X-Force here, which is mostly kind of a slapdash team aside from one member, the members of the X-Force here are see if I can pull up a list of all the of each of the X-Force members, and they do it with they have it be with like Weasel and everything, who Weasel returns in this movie as well. I don't think I mentioned I don't think I mentioned in the first movie how Weasel and Deadpool kind of have like their relationship slash friendship carried over from the comics. It's a lot more balanced in the movies than in the comics. Weasel is more of like is more like a true friend to Deadpool in the movie, as opposed to the comics where it's a bit more one sided in favor of Deadpool. But yeah, so Deadpool sent was his X Force there. See if I can find the names of all the people. The major theme, I guess I might as well mention the major character now that sticks around is Domino, who they have a very funny. They have a very funny, and I actually do have a list. So it's Domino, Bedlam, Shatterstar, Zeitgeist, Vanisher, and Peter. And Peter is, of course, like the normal guy out of everyone. They do bring up, especially with Shatterstar, they bring up the Mojoverse, which I guess that was also a plan for the Mojoverse to make into the X-Men movie saga, which I think maybe plans fell through, which why we didn't really get them. There is still a possibility that we could get them in like the MCU's take on the X-Men, but yeah, as for this initial saga, we didn't really get them. But nevertheless, as everyone else like unfortunately dies as they're jumping out of the plane and their parachutes like malfunction. But Domino, her power is of course luck, which does sound kind of ridiculous, and the movie pokes fun at that, at her power being luck, with Deadpool and Domino having an ongoing running gag of like debating whether or not luck is an actual superpower. But Domino is pretty cool in this movie, and just to see them go overboard with her power in like a very comedic way is really fun to see, and it really adds more dimension to her character. And it turns out she actually also stayed at the Essex home, which kind of ties that together as well. And I imagine in some of this may have also been the result. Some of this like reworking and additional reworking we'll also see. As I'll mention, I guess some of this reworking may also tie into the fact that the timeline was reset in the in the case of Days of Future Past, with the events of Days of Future Past, that is. But Domino being part of Essex was pretty cool. Russell befriends the Juggernaut in prison, which it's thankfully the Juggernaut is finally the right size. Colossus is the right size. Juggernaut is the right size. Thank you, Deadpool. Thank you, Ryan Reynolds, everyone who worked in the movie. Which Ryan Reynolds actually provided both the voice and like the facial motion for Juggernaut. Although it's a bit hard to tell because Juggernaut, while he does do a lot of fighting and stuff, doesn't really talk much, and with all the stuff moving around, you can't always see his face. But plus there's the big helmet. But Juggernaut, he is finally the right size. Both Colossus and Juggernaut are finally the right size. They have their big CGI fight, and it is excellent. Ultimately, Deadpool, with his death, because they have a collar that suppresses mutant ability. Deadpool puts on the collar, or ultimately sacrifices himself as Cable means to shoot Russell, who's not gonna turn good, because that was the little deal they made. Deadpool has 30 seconds to convince Russell to go on the right path, or else Cable gets to kill him, essentially. And so Deadpool sacrifices himself when Cable accidentally shoots Deadpool, and he does die. He reunites with Vanessa for a time because she's in like a vision of his, but he's ultimately whisked back, saying it's not time yet for him to die, and that that they still need him there in life. And so that was the result of Cable going back in time and saving Deadpool's life, essentially. That was the only charge he had. He had two time travel charges, one there and one back. And Deadpool makes fun of it by saying that's just lazy writing. But yeah, so Cable sticks around for a while, and they're essentially a great big family. Dopinder also returns here, the taxi driver from the first movie. He ultimately kills the guy that Russell was going to kill. Yeah, so I know I'm kind of all over the place and I'm kind of talking about a lot of stuff, but it just that's the way. And my amount of talking doesn't do the movie justice. But it is like a lot of fun, and definitely go check out the movie because yeah, it's fun. Like the humor or the drama, some of the emotions and stuff. Like all the references and stuff, and the X-Men they even have some of the extra X-Men and like hiding from Deadpool in a part of the X-Mansion and like in like full costume get up and everything, which is pretty funny. It's like all around fun stuff in this movie. If I had to find stuff to nitpick about this movie, stuff that that I would say he didn't really like about the movie. He for starters, like I mentioned with the last movie, if like meta humor, like reference based humor, like heavy reference based humor isn't really your thing, this movie probably isn't going to be for you, and that's perfectly understandable. But yeah, there is a lot of it here, and like I said, it's cranked up a lot as well. The other thing I would say is Black Tom Cassidy does make an appearance, but he's kind of more like a joke character, or it's mainly more like race jokes because he's Black Tom Cassidy, and then Deadpool makes a joke that he's White Wade Wilson, and so he's there more for the joke. According to the wiki here, he was supposed to have a much bigger role in terms of like being a major antagonist in the movie, as he is definitely in the comics, but they didn't want like two major antagonists because they already have Juggernaut and the Essex Corporation, like the Essex home. So I guess they didn't want too many antagonists, and he probably would have been overshadowed because those were supposed to be like the two major antagonists, and to an extent Cable as well. He's more antagonist turned hero, stuff like that. Yeah. So essentially, his role had to be reduced quite a bit. It is funny, and it's probably not too big of a loss, but yeah. But there are a lot of other characters. As I mentioned, like Colossus, NTW, her girlfriend Yukio, which Yukio, if you remember, was actually the woman who accompanied Wolverine in kind of shown around Japan in the Wolverine movie. If you ever need to go check that out, which is kind of weird. Or you remember the timeline was reset due to Days of Future Past, but it's also kind of like weird in a way, considering she's there in the Wolverine, but now she's aged down tremendously. Being NCW's girlfriend and everything in this movie, and they also have a running gag with her being like, "Hi Deadpool," her highway, he's like, "Hi Yukio," stuff like that. But yeah, so there's that. And with Cable, maybe this is asking too much. I wish she was a little bit more muscular. He does have like the metal arm, which is nice. He does have the glowing eyes, not just a single eye, but both eyes glow this time around. And he does have the gun and everything, and he does look pretty bulky for the most part. But I just wish he was a tad bit more muscular. It's not as bad as original X-Men Juggernaut or original X-Men Colossus in terms of like size scaling, but I do wish he had a little more size on him. But nevertheless, I think that's going to do it for this review. Pretty fun time with this movie. Sadly, in terms of the other movies, it's pretty much going to go all downhill from here. But we have two more movies in the X-Men saga, so we're going to knock those out. We're almost done with the X-Men movies. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below if you're enjoying my looks at the X-Men movies, and if you enjoyed this movie, and if you enjoyed my analysis of this movie. Did you dislike the movie? Did you dislike my analysis of the movie? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace. Alright, so guys, if the camera will focus, thank you. But guys, I actually was about to edit the video for you guys so you guys can see it, but I almost forgot my favorite part of the movie that I definitely wanted to address. It's the end credits, the post credits and stuff of the shenanigans there, because that's one of the best gags in the movie, with Deadpool going back in time, pretty much undoing a lot of stuff. For starters, he saves Vanessa. He saves Vanessa first, and then he saves Peter as well from the X-Force, although with Vanessa now being alive, shouldn't that also conflict with the X-Force existence in the first place? Not entirely sure, but maybe, and maybe they'll address that in the next movie. But so she's saved, Abe, and Peter is saved. But then Deadpool kills himself from X-Men Origins Wolverine. Thank you again, Ryan Reynolds. He kills Ryan Reynolds after he wrote the screenplay for Green Lantern, and I love how Ryan Reynolds hates Green Lantern as much as we all did. And then he's about to kill a baby version of Adolf Hitler. And it is kind of an awkward scene, but it's also really funny. As well, him he contemplating killing him, and saying he's gonna come back with Cable to kill him because Cable loves killing kids. Notice that Hitler's diaper is full. And and yeah, so just kind of poking fun at that, one of the best gags in the movie, and shame on me for almost forgetting it. Thankfully I edited in post, but yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on post notifications, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys later. Peace. For real this time. Peace.